So I'm going to be talking about urban farming, but specifically the yield of it and food production. So with the Lecture 11 article, we saw that with urban agriculture, we're able to use land in a more productive way because prior to urban agriculture, free space in urban areas wouldn't be used for anything productive. In fact, the study in the article shows that for or that each square meter used for urban agriculture is equivalent to twice that area, but of rural farmland. So overall, we get more outputs when we use less land through urban agriculture than what we would get with rural farming. And land sparing is also a result of urban agriculture, meaning that we wouldn't have to get rid of natural habitats and convert them into farmlands the way that they currently are. So, it was found through LCAs that practicing urban agriculture would be beneficial for humans, animals, and the environment. Uh, those findings indicate that biodiversity in urban spaces would increase, which provides more habitats for animals, and additionally, we reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. And as discussed in class, it's therapeutic to have plants to come home to and take care of them. Um, it's also just a nice change of scenery when you're surrounded by many buildings in an urban environment. Um, so it's nice to look at when you need a break. So overall, urban agriculture would be good for taking care of our mental health. So one of the articles I found is by Florian Payen, and it discusses food security and connects it to urban agriculture. People in food deserts would have easier access to freshly grown foods, but there are nuances to this, such as the affordability of such produce. But with a community effort, produce from urban agriculture can be more accessible, just like what we've seen with Ron Finley's work. In fact, the picture on the right is actually part of Ron Finley's garden. But the article I found shares that urban agriculture has allowed for citizens in urban areas to shop locally rather than having to rely on exports, which are known to create more environmental pressures. So in class, we also discussed hydroponics and its benefits as compared to planting with soil, such as stacking plants being easier to produce and manage because soil is harder and heavier to work with, and easier pest management because the environment is controlled. Additionally, because the environment is controlled, we're able to have a perpetual harvest system of planting, transplanting, harvesting, and packing. So this is more convenient in terms of the labor that the farmers have to go through, as well as like the convenience of being able to grow plants at any time of the year. So we don't have to worry about seasonality. The reading for Lecture 12 focuses on the technical aspects of urban agriculture and vertical farming, and finds that with these types of agriculture comes predictability. Therefore, we're able to optimize our inputs and maximize our outputs. Something I mentioned previously is the ability to control the environment. So with hydroponics and vertical farming, we have the ability to control our inputs, including the amount of water we use for our crops, as well as its pH and the nutrients given to the plants. So I mentioned this because in another article I found by Dwi Haryanto, its study found that using liquid organic fertilizers can actually increase the yield of produce in urban agriculture. However, this study is limited to eggplants, bok choy, and mustard. So it found that the yield of these crops is better when animal waste is used rather than vegetable waste. And this article just reminded me of our discussion regarding controlling the environment of vertical farms in order to better fit the needs of the plants. But the overall concept of urban agriculture is something I can relate to my One Health class again, because the health of humans, animals, and the environment is are all dependent on each other. And with urban agriculture, we'd ensure that more people are nourished well and with local foods. So just having better health overall, which in turn reduces our impact on the environment through less carbon emissions, as well as the fact that we'd be limiting habitat loss, which is overall better for animals. And we also create spaces for biota to live in through urban agriculture. And these are my sources.